This is the alpha, and you bring the omega up. Did this go anywhere? No, it didn't go anywhere. These things aren't on a seesaw. So in the last video of this series, I'm talking about how the alpha-omega idea, alpha-omega male concept applies in the business world as an entrepreneur. So as you guys know, I work with lots of entrepreneurs, and recently there's been a couple situations in the work that I'm doing with some creative partners that where this stuff has come up. First one that comes to mind is the guy's got a company is looking at a new investment deal, taking on more investments, and had a number of conversations with the people who are going to be doing the investment, and they came to terms, verbal handshake, and then they got the contract a week or two later from the group, and there were some terms in there that were off and that were like kind of substantial changes in the way they talked about, and they got pissed. They were like, what? This is like a bait and switch. These guys have taken us this far down this path. We're getting things lined up to use this investment for, and all of a sudden now they're just changing the deal. And the CEO is stewing about it, getting frustrated and getting angry, wanting to say this or that to them, just writing lots of stuff and emails to me about like how horrible this is and how they've gone wrong. And what do I need? How do I handle this, and what should I do? And mine going everywhere because of it, right? But what I helped them to see is that like there may be something going on their side that you don't even realize right now, right? What do they? Well, you have to remember, like these people, if they've done something and they've changed something, it's because they had a reason to, like, and you obviously didn't see that coming. So how did you miss that? First of all, right? But second of all, like, what is it? And the thing is, because I wasn't the one in the situation, that I could at least be open to the fact that these people might have feelings too. Just like right now, my client had loads of feelings about what was going on. That he couldn't feel them at all. He didn't even think to feel them. That's how blinding this stuff is. When you're all in your alpha and you're putting not only your mission first and the things out in the action and the stuff you want to have in the world first, but you're putting your feelings first. When you've got good feelings, good, they go first. But when you've got fear and bad feelings, they're going first too. Like, the problem is you can't feel anything else. So he didn't even think about the fact that they might have feelings. So as soon as I pointed that out to him and helped him to slow down and check in and ask just for a moment, we could just put that last. Can you bring the omega aspect up? Yeah, you're alpha, I got it, cool, awesome. But bring the omega aspect up. And notice my other hand, right? Watch, I don't know if you can see this hand. This is the alpha, and you bring the omega up. Did this go anywhere? No, it didn't go anywhere. These things aren't on a seesaw. They're just parts of ourselves that can either be expressed or not expressed. And so if I bring the omega aspect up, I start to choose to put my feelings last, and I can start to feel others. I said, just put yourself aside for a minute, right? I reminded him about recently there was a situation yourself that you were the one who maybe had switched things around and other people might have been upset, right? But so, oh yeah, actually that's true. I could have been that too. So this starts to come up. I don't know, okay, we're all kind of the same. Oh, okay, and then, all right, now I can have some space to feel them. And then and going into the meeting, into having the negotiation, the conversation with them, he went in with an openness, a vulnerability, a curiosity about what was going on for these people that had them change the deal. And come to find out, they didn't even really realize it happened. The lawyers had put that in, and they'd hired lawyers this time for this deal because they'd never done a deal like this before. And they were just nervous and scared because it was the first time they've ever made this kind of investment, this big of an investment. It's kind of one company investing in another. And so, and all of a sudden you notice that they have a fear, which you probably would have had too if you were in their shoes, and this is how they dealt with it, and that doesn't work for me, but at least now we both get that we're both kind of worried about stuff and we're treading lightly, so let's just talk about it. And that's what happened, and a beautiful result was created, and a better deal will come of it. That's one example. Another one. The guy I work with is a political representative, and he's out there thinking about wanting to share this stuff with the organization in a particular way and say particular things that aren't supposed to be done in that way, in that fashion. They have like a rule, an order about how things are supposed to happen in government that it wasn't giving him the space to speak about the things and to say the things that he wanted to say. And sometimes it's good for this rule and structure, right? And sometimes we need to step out and beyond that. And he was holding back so much to the point where he was considering leaving his position in this organization. And what we figured out, though, is that the reason he was considering leaving is because the omega, we didn't talk about it this way at the time, but the omega aspect of himself wasn't fully online enough. So because there was no willingness to put his feelings for himself last, he wasn't able to feel the higher purpose of his mission, which was to get these things across. If he had brought the omega aspect up, his willingness to put his feelings last about what's not fair, or how they won't like me if I do this thing anyway, despite it not being part of the normal way of doing it or normal procedure. That's all my feelings about me. Because that was first, the omega was down here. Bring the omega up, put my feelings last, and feel the people in the council, or even beyond that, the constituency, and all of a sudden you start getting connected to the purpose, and you start becoming encouraged. That word encourage, right? Courage. It means to put courage in, to put something into your heart. Courage comes from core Latin. Core means heart. To put something into your heart. He started to become encouraged because the omega aspect was up. He was more open and willing to feel the bigger mission, and that bigger mission, that bigger purpose, put love into his heart. The love for that, for the people, for the land, for how the land was going to be developed or used. That mattered all of a sudden much more. So he was encouraged. He got courage to then feed the alpha aspect of himself, which was the part that acts and speaks. And he went in and he spoke in such a way where it's not typically done, and he got a round of applause and many thanks for it and had impact. So are you getting this, that it's not just about being an alpha male with blind balls of steel, where you're just like, fuck yeah, I'm just going to take over the world, where you feel nothing, you just surge forward? We all know what that looks like, right? And it's powerful in a destructive way. An alpha omega male is one that holds on to that alphaness, that willingness to go first, to be self-expressed, to be bold, to take action, while at the same time bringing all of the omega aspect to the willingness to put myself, my feelings last. And it's not always feeling right. That's just the theme of these videos, is putting our feelings for ourselves, our desires for ourselves, our wants for ourselves last for a moment so we can feel the world. That's what I'm talking about here. But it could actually mean going last as well. Maybe we'll talk about that another time. But at least for today and for these videos, putting your willingness to feel others right up there. Boom, all alpha, all omega. You're the alpha wolf and the omega wolf in your body simultaneously. And then you're feeling the higher purpose. You're feeling your wife or the women. You're feeling your kids. You're feeling the people that you're negotiating with. You're feeling your potential clients. You're feeling everybody else's feelings. And then you're not stopping short and then succumbing to those feelings and acquiescing and abdicating responsibility, or being so like slimy and slippery or wiggly. It's like none of that shit. And the reason you're not getting swept into their feelings, because you're staying here. You're keeping the alpha up. My commitment to my truth and my self-expression, and I'm not going to stop. You're keeping that in place, but you're informing it with this. And when these two things come together, that's the yin yang, right? That's the integration. That's the simultaneity. This is the superpower of I am the alpha and omega, the beginning and the end. I am the first and the last. The power is in the paradox, my friends. I love you for watching these videos. I hope they're helpful. If you have questions, please ask me. I'd love to support you. Much love. So if you like this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel, click the button, and also share with your friends. Share the love. Tweet it, Facebook it, Google Plus it, LinkedIn it, whatever you do, get it out there. And of course, if you really want to engage in this idea, down below in the comments, the discussion, the dialogue is where the best insights come. Challenge me, ask me questions, I will get back to you. Your ideas, your comments help me to create more videos. Finally, if you're interested in learning it all about what I do, my personal coaching for leaders, artists, musicians, sole proprietors, anybody who's a creative force in the world and creating their own things, check out my website. Also, if you're a coach and you want to learn more about my apprenticeship or learn more about how I create coaching clients, check out my website, link down below. Much love.